I now that we're talking about, this, the one question I know people will probably want to ask, and I know it's kind of, I don't know how to define it, but not to there's going to be religion and all that stuff people think about, these near-death experiences when you're sort of looking up from the operating table and then you have an out-of-body, you're looking down.
I'm going to put the air on. Continue.
Did you have anything like that? Did you experience?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah. And the hospital has a service about spiritual help.
Oh, interesting.
So they ask you what kind of religion you are.
Yeah.
And just one person actually talks to you. And
are you religious? I don't even know if I know that.
You never got into a surgery room without not believing in something.
You've got to believe so. Yeah, like an agnostic. I'm that. I'm not an atheist, and I say I'm agnostic because you never know. I want to hedge my bets.
When you enter a surgery room, going for a heart transplant, you definitely believe in something.
Yeah.
I believe in my thing.
Yeah.
I'm not. I don't believe in the church. I don't believe in many things that people believe,
right.
Which I totally respect, and they are free to believe in whatever they want. But I'm close to other ideas. I definitely think that there's a superior person, or there's a god, or multiple. I don't know. I think that the world thinks they're too perfect just to be an accident. The conception, how the body works, how nature progresses, it's too bloody perfect. It can't be an accident. It's when you have an accident, things don't happen perfect.
Right.
This is all the contrary. This is completely fucked up. But
yeah.
so it has to be a nice design there.
Right.
It sounds. I believe in it. Someone say, okay, took the time, had a board and draw.
Whiteboarded out.
Whiteboarded out all things. It's too complex and too perfect to be an accident for me. And it's just a perception. I have no proof, and I'm not gonna preach it.
Right.
It's just what I believe, and I'm happy with that.
It's gotten you this far.
Right.
It's gotten you through some pretty crazy things.
And getting back to spiritual help, of course, there's a lot of people that told me that it was praying for me and giving me a lot of good vibe, which I totally appreciate, and I've never asked for that. But it's religion in those cases is a very, very big thing, because when you can't hold to anything, so other than hope,
right?
You just can't hold to. You. I think that the mind works this way. You always need to find an owner to what's going to happen. If you go to the garage to get the car fixed, you need to know who's the guy that's going to fix your car. Right. So if it doesn't work, you can go and blame that guy.
Right.
You need an owner. Here, you can't put an owner here. You can't put the face of the doctor because you never met the doctor who actually did the surgery. You probably meet that person afterwards, but not previous to the surgery. So the only person that you can to have that ownership is God.
Yeah.
But you need someone that's gonna carry that task.
Yeah.
You need to face someone that is gonna do it. It can't happen just because.
If you met the doctor, he or she, I should say, comes out and you're healing up, and they come over and they went to shake your hand and it was just shaking like crazy. Would that freak you out?
It will freak me out before the surgery.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. If this is post, you're like, jeez, what the heck?
The surgery.
Terrible.
It might happen something afterwards.
Yeah.
I met the surgeon
you
afterwards.
Did meet the surgeon. Okay.
I was a Japanese guy.
Okay.
Hardly speaking English.
Okay.
But definitely very skilled.
Very skilled. I love it.
Very, very humble.
Yeah.
The humbleness of the doctors there is...
That's amazing.
They're playing God, and the humbleness is... I've never seen people so humble.
That's great.
And I have to say that I've seen people with an ego very, very hard to handle.
Right.
In medicine. Not everyone, don't generalize. But I've seen people, I've been exposed to a lot of to doctors. But this guy's super humble.
They have to be so compassionate too, because, you know, it's so life and death again. It's so risky.
I don't think that they put it on a life and death situation.
No.
They couldn't handle that if they understand that they're playing with life and death.
No.
I think
they're
that
just
they're
sort of seeing the mission at hand. Or
okay. I think that they can de-associate what they are actually doing.
Right.
But with the proper task of opening chest, opening external, and just remove heart, putting the new one.
Got it.
And it's like
like going to the mechanic.
Mechanic task. Yeah. I think they have to.
Yeah, you have to do it that way.
Because if they realize how meaningful is for people what they do, that I don't think they can handle that.
Yeah.
And this is my impression. Just not. I've never talked to them about that.
It's probably why you meet them after, I'm guessing. I don't know. You can't get attached.
Well, I remember when I had an ablation, that was previous to a transplant. The ablation is basically they put you up. So I had...
Yeah, they burn your heart, right?
Burn your heart,
Oh, goodness.
That's because I had many arrhythmias before.
Mm-hmm.
So in a way to control that, they just burn the electric circuit of the heart,
right?
Avoiding that the heart goes mental, and just start into arrhythmic sinus. So I met the surgeon before, and she asked me, "How are you?" It doesn't matter. How are you? You're going to do the surgery.
Yeah. True. You're like...
I just said, I'm feeling great. I'm feeling great too.
Now I'm feeling great. Yeah. How are you? And again, if she came in and was having like her 7th cup of coffee
with a flask.
and a flask, right? If she was
professional.
slurring her words.
But I actually did that because I had this story from my mom that when she was... when I was going to have the surgery at 6 years old, the doctor asked my mom, "How are you?" Irrelevant.
Yeah.
Well, it's important that you had good sleep.
Yes.
You're okay.
Did you stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night?
Yeah.
Because you're about to perform surgery.
Yeah. That's what really matters. It doesn't matter how.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't worry about me. Worry about you. Do you need anything, Doc? Before I go in. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy that yeah, I mean, if you really were honestly answering that, it would be, how am I? I'm freaking the heck out. I'm about to have a procedure on my heart. I mean, if they were honestly to answer, right? Well, so again, I'm just going to hit on it again, but we talked a little bit about the religion and stuff, but did you see any white lights? Did you see anything that was sort of like...
a nurse asked me that.
Did
no,
she? And you did not?
No.
Okay.
It was a guy, actually. And the best, Jesse.
Nice.
So Jesse, if this gets to you, you're the best nurse I've ever met.
Love it.
In my life.
There we go.
The guy, very young, very, very young, but he had the skill to listen, which nurses not usually do.
Right.
And they have the chance to do it. But this guy also had the skill to do it.
Yeah.
And I remember that he sat, I was sitting in the couch because I need just to get strength in my body.
Mm-hmm.
And he sat in the bed and he asked me, "Do you see the light?"
Yeah.
No, I did not. I didn't see the light. I can't remember if I did, but I didn't see the light. And the guy said, "I did."
He did?
Yeah. Now he's interested in this job.
Oh.
What happened? I got stabbed.
He got stabbed, this
in
nurse?
New York.
Whoa. Wow.
And I mostly bled to death. That's what he said.
Wow. Holy cow.
And he got transfusion and got recovered. So his story became more interesting than mine.
Yeah.
Suddenly.
Well, I mean, it's,
and it was incredible for me that the nurse opens so much and start having this kind of conversation.
Yeah.
And I remember that I had him a few nights, and every night I was just calling him to chat.
That's great.
Because at the hospital, you're very lonely.
Yeah.
You're very, very lonely. Even though that I had my wife was visiting me every day.
Yes, she was nonstop.
Every day driving I don't know how many miles to see me. And my daughter is also traveling every weekend to see me.
Yes.
My mother and my sister came from Argentina to see me.
Yeah.
Friends have flown over our countries to see me. Still, it was a long time.
Yeah.
So,
no, you were in there for how long? 6 months? More than
5
that.
months.
5 months. 5 months. Yeah, gosh, 5 months doesn't seem as long when you're looking back, but when it's happening, that was a long time. I remember we were texting a lot.
The problem is that you don't know how long it's going to be.
Right. When do I get to go?
Yeah, because if they tell you that it's going to be 5 months at the very beginning, you might probably get into with the mindset 5 months. But what I heard, so the prep was initially at the hospital, if you don't have any sidetrack, as I had,
yeah,
you're going to stay 2 weeks. They try to get you out as soon as possible because the longer you are at the hospital,
right,
the longer the chances that you get diminished with your physical aptitude.
Yep.
And
exposure
to infections. Yep. And so they want you out.
Yeah.
But third day, pneumonia.
Right. You're like, I want to stay. I love the food here. I'm sticking around. No.
Do you want to talk about the food?
I want to ask you about that because I was thinking about this when you were saying it before. If you're all open and you and I share a passion for food, I mean, we could spend so much time about the cooking, and I love that the therapy, the whole thing, because I love to run, I love to cook. There's definitely a mindset when I go in, but we'll get to that at some point. But how are you being fed? What's going on there? You're all opened up. where are you getting nutrition? How does that all work? There's so many questions.
So,
yes.
This is it. At the very beginning,
yeah,
it's through
IV.
Through
I
IV.
figured.
Through IV. I don't know what it is, but it's through IV. Then they put you a tube through the nose till past the stomach.
To put it in there so you're getting fed through your schnoz.
Yeah.
So
you got
pleasant.
You get used to, but I had one tube, then I got a second tube.
Nice.
And so I was all wired up on the.
So both of those are going into your stomach, or one's in your stomach, one's for oxygen.
I think that one was to the lung.
Got it.
And the other one was to the stomach.
So how many how much Argentinian food were they able to get through?
0.
They're not grinding up barbecue and feeding that through? No.
So they put kind of a pack with a yellow stuff that looks as horrible as it is. That food, they were questioning about my nutrition, so they give you a massive amount because they want you be fed.
Yeah.
Because if you're not fed, you don't heal.
Right.
So they need you. They has a massive amount of protein, and I don't know what. It's a massive cocktail. That food got me diarrhea, but really bad, like.
Yeah.
Bad. So I was speaking with a nutritionist, and I wonder, I could cut diarrhea on my daughters. Why aren't you able to cut it on me?
Yes.
That I'm telling you that I'm feeling now really well.
Yeah, I don't
on
feel
this.
good with this. Can you can you stop it?
And no, I want you to be fed. They prioritize being fed than not feeling like shit. So after when you start healing, they switch to liquids.
Mm.
But first, you need to do a test, swallowing test, because the first, I would say, we're first month,
Mm-hmm.
you cannot eat and you cannot drink.
Oh man.
You're literally thirsty all the time. You can't drink.
For a month.
Yeah, over a month. Over a month, you're.
I'm not into this. I don't think I want to do this.
No.
No. I want to
But
avoid this.
remember,
procedure.
this happened. No, it's not going to happen to everyone.
Right.
This happened because I had a massive sidetrack of the pneumonia.
So that was what set you back. That was a big setback.
That was a massive
I
setback.
don't think Valeria told us about the pneumonia. I don't think, which was probably there is a reason because obviously it's concerning. So I don't think we knew about that. But my father had his stroke when he was 50 years old. He had a stroke, healthy living. And he had, I can't remember why. I don't think I was working at the time. So I kind of moved back to upstate New York where my parents were. And he couldn't swallow because of the stroke. And he had a peg where they fed him Ensure, I think it was, or, one of those heavy nutrient types of things. And that was what motivated him, because he was an eater, just like you and I, and he loved his food. I had to go there every day with a, when you're at the dentist and the little mirror that they're looking at your teeth, one of those and also like a tongue suppressor, and I had to have him open his mouth and then basically massage the throat area to get that reaction. You don't think about swallowing until you can't swallow, and then you start to think about that procedure, right? It's actually so many muscles making that food move down. So we had to wake those up in order for him to be able to swallow. He could still talk, but it was
swallowing is a completely different
swallowing different thing. So teaching his body again.
No, and the reason why it's very, very complicated is because when you're swallowing some of the food go to the lung.
Exactly. That would be bad.
It's disaster.
Yeah.
That's a disaster. So they are very, very, very cautious on the process.
Because you could literally drown from that.
Not only drown, but that can get into an infection.
Yeah.
That goes a massive, massive problem.
And so he had the peg, and that was what motivated him for about, I can't remember how long, but it was a while, weeks maybe, that he wasn't able to swallow. But I kept, saying, hey, you've got some food to eat still, man. So now you've been in there, you've gotten fed through your nose, and you're finally, when they test it out, I'd love to hear how, like, the steps for that, and then when you were able to finally eat, what that was all about.
It took me months.
Really?
Because what happened at the very beginning, I was hungry.
Yeah.
But you start eating first liquids.
Yeah.
Because it's easier to swallow. Then after liquids, you can eat mash. Like everything is mashed. Like
right.
Everything.
Yeah.
Mash. It takes a few days.
Pureed food.
Everything.
But even at that point, I'm guessing you were like, this is delicious. Was it? Or
no? And after that, you can start incorporating solids.
Oh, okay.
So even in the hospital. I remember the first time I asked for solids. And they give you a tray with the food, and it came a package of salt. And it said...
You can't have salt, can you?
Yes.
You can have salt. Oh, at this stage, because you couldn't have salt before. We talked about this.
I know.
So did you just sniff it? Did you just...
No, I didn't.
Like a drug addict in the 80s?
I didn't sniff it, but it was for me.
So that was a huge moment.
Yeah, it's just he gave me salt.
Wow, that is interesting.
My new
best friend.
menu
Yeah,
includes salt. So that was like,
that's huge.
Okay, now we're talking.
Yeah, I'm back, baby.
Well, what happened is when I started to eat, my body started rejecting the food.
Oh no.
Yeah, like I was eating and at night vomiting.
Oh no.
Every night,
Dude.
and it was medicine that I was taking.
The medicine was doing it.
One of the medicines that I was
It
taking
was upsetting your stomach.
upsetting really bad my stomach, and it took a while to understand which was it, and they made me a couple of studies to see if I was swallowing okay, if I was,
Right.
my stomach was working, and then they figured out that it was the medicine that was rejecting, and there is another medicine that I was taking that changed the flavor of the stuff.
Oh.
So I was eating, but everything had a weird taste.
Oh.
But weird, bad. Weird.
So you're just like, I don't even want to eat at this point.
I couldn't, you couldn't appreciate the taste of things. Because the only thing that didn't taste weird were the raw things, like salads. So I remember asking for salads or yogurts or strawberries or some fruits, because that was the only thing I could eat, and that didn't have a bad taste. But for example, I remember once that Valeria brought Chinese food to the hospital.
Nice.
And I was eating it, just I couldn't taste the flavor.
And you're like, this is terrible. I will never eat this again.
Yeah. And also brought me beer, non-alcoholic beer.
Oh.
And that was tasting horrible.
Thank goodness you got over that.
Yeah.
The first meal you had, what was it? And like the first real meal where you could actually appreciate, where you have your taste back, you're ready to go, and you're
it's
like,
hard.
This
It wasn't a one day to another.
No.
It was just getting there, and one moment you realize that you're actually feeling the taste of the food as it was before.
Was there a celebratory meal that you had at some point to say?
Probably my
I'm
birthday.
back on your birthday.
Probably my birthday
So
I was healed enough to feel the taste, not rejecting the food,
Oh, nice.
and being able to eat the days of dialysis.
And what did you have? I have to
You
ask.
were there.
Oh, you mean when we had the celebration here?
Yeah.
Oh, when I fell down in the...
Yeah,
Yeah.
you fell down and almost killed yourself.
Almost. It
on the
wasn't my
chair.
fault. It was the...
You were
the
too
room
quiet
design.
that day.
I was quiet that
you
day.
You were too quiet.
Yeah,
You were
that
too
sounds
quiet
like
and
me.
shy with my friends.
Yes, I tend to stay in my shell. I'm very, so that was the day I'm so glad I was here for that. And
Yeah,
you
probably
cooked
that day.
a
that day.
storm. I mean, let's talk about that. So, now you've gone from you can't eat salt, you're able to now. I mean, you have nothing stopped you. We have a barbecue channel that we're on that's getting updated almost daily with the meals that you're making or the meals that others are making. In fact, right now, Giancarlo Gialli, who is on the barbecue channel, offered up a whole cow to the barbecue channel.
Yeah.
He's asking if we want to invest in buying a cow in December, not steaks. He's talking about the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I know that your response was, I'm in. And so we're trying to figure this. But you're eating Argentinian barbecue now and cooking it amazingly well. We had people over at yours that night. Let me see if I can remember. There's we had the blood sausage, which I can't remember the name of because it's that. You had there was a I want to say there was a steak that you had. It was the oh my gosh, it was what was it? It was flat steak. No, what was it? What would you have there? You know better than I. But the one thing that was the treat, because I found out that night the hard way that in Argentina you eat as much as possible, and then they do something like the mercy kill,
merciful shot,
the merciful shot to just put you over the edge, so you won't be able to digest for another 12 days. And that was actually delicious. It was
sweetbreads.
It was sweetbreads, which were amazing.
So I think the first thing was blood sausage, provoleta, the cheese.
Yes. Oh, the cheese.
The cheese.
So
we
good.
also got peppers. Bell peppers done on the grill.
Yes. There were vegetables. I remember vegetables.
We got the pork butt.
Yes.
That was
That's
made
right.
at the Camado. Then we got the ribs done at the massive grill.
That's right. They were beef ribs. That's right. Huge, big beef ribs. I mean, so that must have been, it's funny because you take things for granted when you haven't gone through a major surgery and had to have your major organ restored to good health or replaced. For me, it was a fantastic night. It was wonderful. We were celebrating you turning a certain age. I was going to say it there, but okay.
50.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you said it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was an amazing celebration. We had some wine. I didn't. I did.
No, you did.
And and that wasn't why I fell down, by the way. So just to be clear, that wasn't that. It was fantastic, but we celebrated you, and we said, but it must have been meant so much more. I think I'm such a, I don't know, a bit of an emotional person. I would have probably cried.
I don't think you do remember how it came up, that birthday party, because we were at your Liz's birthday.
Yes.
And I was sharing with you and your friend Sean was not friend. And
was it Johnny?
No.
You were talking to? No. Glenn. You're talking to Glenn.
And I said that I invited you both to my birthday to do a barbecue.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, because you were like, this is gonna happen.
Yeah.
See,
because I wasn't much in the mood of doing it, but Valeria pushed me a bit.
Good.
And I said, just do it. And I did, and I'm glad I did.
So here, let me do this timeline here real quick. So you're in 2 years ago. No, a year. When did you go?
March 2023 was a transplant.
So March 2023, you have your transplant. So now you're in the hospital for 5 months. That's what's in August.
Yeah.
You come home. Your birthday was
March.
Okay. So now we're a year from your surgery. Yeah, it's bananas to think of that, because I don't think I realized how short that time was before you're getting your heart replaced to you cooking on the grill and basically doing everything by yourself, lifting that big, heavy,
I didn't lift that.
You did pretty well. I mean, you wouldn't have known if somebody said to me, if I didn't know you and they said, oh, he just had his heart transplant, I would have said, you're crazy. That's not true.